What's going on, YouTube? This is Marcus, and today we're going to talk about net worth and liquidity, why it's important to have a balance between the two, and the interplay and how they work between the two. First, let's start out with a few definitions. Liquidity is simply defined as how much cash you have readily available on hand or assets that you can sell quickly to generate cash. Now, I'll tell you, when you talk about assets you can sell quickly, I don't like to include that in my definition because some people, stocks, property such as a vehicle or a house may be considered liquid, but when time is of the essence, you're not going to have the opportunity and time to sell them. So for purposes of this video, liquidity focuses on what's in your emergency fund. What money do you have right now to bear this storm, to bear this unexpected emergency that came up without having to sell any assets? It solely focuses emergency fund, liquidity. That's our quick, fast definition. Now we're going to look at net worth. Net worth is essentially your total amount of assets minus your total liabilities. Net worth is important because, one, it's a good overall determination of your financial health. It's actually more determinative and important related to your financial health than your actual income. A person can have a very high income but have a negative net worth. And so, again, they don't have the assets and the money to cover an emergency or to be able to put themselves in a position where they can take advantage when an investment opportunity presents itself. Now, if you lean too much on one side or the other, it could be completely problematic. Let's just take a few examples. Let's look at a person who focuses on being completely liquid but is not necessarily concerned with their net worth. Well, this person is an individual who will have $20,000, $30,000 in their bank account, money to cover an emergency. However, they're extremely over leveraged when it comes to their debts. They have car loans, house loans, student loans, credit card bills. Their amount of obligations actually may or can potentially exceed their income. However, they've been able to stack up enough of money because they're solely thinking about, if I can pay the minimum payments, I can stack up enough money to have in my bank account. I think one of the flaws with that is, even if you have $20,000 or $30,000 in your bank account, if you got $100,000 worth of debt, if an emergency happens such as medical or job loss, you're really not going to have enough money to sustain your obligations for a long time. Now let's look at the other scenario. An individual who focuses solely on their net worth. I want to be a millionaire, but they fail to remain liquid. Well, this person may have a lot of assets and property, cars may be paid off, may have a lot of investment accounts. However, the problem with this person is they don't have any money readily available in an emergency fund. So when an emergency comes up, they're looking at having to sell one of those assets or either having to tap into those investment accounts. So the key is to find the perfect balance between the two. You want to make sure that you continually put a little bit of money aside to slowly increase the amount of your emergency fund. However, you also want to monitor and focus on making sure that you have a positive net worth. I think the reason this is important, one, because like I said, both are key indicators of your financial health. But the interplay between the two is important. As you pay down debt, your net worth will rise on the other side. So it gives you a good measuring stick of where you are financially. I think the other thing too is just from a mental and a motivational standpoint. As everyone who's probably watching this video is aware, I'm in the process of paying down 6 figures of student debt. That's one of the first things I want to start knocking out become the beginning of the year 2021. But that doesn't mean I haven't paid off some student loans before. I've actually paid off some of my student loans in the past. They send you this high-speed letter saying congratulations on paying off your loan. Tell us how you did it. And I didn't want to tell them because I felt like they just wanted to make it be a hindrance on the next person. But when you take these things into consideration, again, your net worth is very important because from an emotional, mental, and a moral standpoint, that is a good way to measure those victories when you have a large amount of loans to overcome. Now, if you had, for example, small student loans, small credit card bills, you can slowly knock those out over shorter periods of time and mentally gain that confidence to proceed to the next one. However, me, I have a $109,000 student loan bill and a $130,000 student loan bill. So those small victories, those small mental victories are really going to be harder to come by. And so in those situations, to keep the momentum going and to stay motivated, what you do is, one, set goals. You say, hey, okay, after I pay $20,000 off on this debt, that's going to be a small point, a small victory where I can celebrate. But also, when you're looking at your net worth, as you paid off $20,000 of debt on this student loan, over here you can slowly see your net worth has increased by $20,000. So that just gives you a little bit of extra push and a little bit of moral victory. You can see that net worth going up. Even though you're paying down the debt, you can see that other side rising up where you're actually becoming more valuable. Your financial health is becoming more secure and in a better and more robust position. Well, that's it. Net worth and liquidity. The key takeaway is you have to make sure you focus on both and have a perfect balance on both. To lean too far on either the liquidity side or the net worth side, you leave yourself susceptible and open to a potential risk in the event of an emergency, and we definitely want to avoid that. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Like, subscribe, comment. If you comment, I'll definitely get back at you in the comments. And if you got any video ideas or anything you want me to talk about, feel free to leave those in the comment as well. Peace.